questions on that? Very good. Okay. So, visitors like to address the council this evening? Okay.
I guess, I don't know, I'm not on the agenda, I'm not sure if Alex mentioned anything to you guys, but, been working with him on a water system study. He wanted me to attend this meeting to kind of kick off with you guys before he drove it home with the conversation.
Is that the investigative report?
Yeah. But it's not what Dan is here to talk about on the wastewater side, it's on the drinking water side. Don't know if this is the spot for me to stand up and talk or.
Fine.
Okay, well, if you guys haven't seen it, last week, I sent Alex the draft preliminary investigative report regarding the drinking water system, specifically relating to the low pressure in the South Industrial Park area. Yes. So I know I'm not giving you much time to review it, but I did have plenty of extras. So you can take that home. We can talk about it next time when Alex is here in person. I know he had some personal matters that came up. So I'll just briefly go over it. And if you guys have any questions, either bring it to me or Alex and we can kind of go through it. But basically, he came to us a couple months ago, said they're having low pressure issues and concerns. I know the town probably had some concerns over the last probably several years in that area. Unfortunately, that's where the industrial area, commercial area is growing. I know there's buildings that are being planned right now for expansion in that area, and you can't really move it. So the available water, available pressure is what it is. Alex wanted to get us involved so we can kind of study it and see what options we could do to improve that for fire fighting capabilities and just water pressure as a whole. So we took a look at 4 alternatives. They are raising the existing water towers. Water towers are on the north end of town. The south pressure zone, or the South Industrial Park, is higher elevation. So raising those towers would essentially give you more pressure in that south area. So we looked at that. We looked at building a new tower that would be taller in the South Industrial area. Dealt with that. We looked at a new booster station, and we looked at retrofitting the old plant that you guys have out there for kind of a boosted area in that industrial park. So with our preliminary analysis, we think that the best option would be to retrofit the old plant. You got the infrastructure there. It wouldn't take much construction to retrofit that, to tap the existing water main that's right there. You got a brand new add-on with overhead doors to be able to get pumps in and out of. And that would definitely be cheaper than raising towers. We got a quote for a little over, I think it was $3 million to raise both of them. That was just to get it into like a minimum acceptable range of 40 PSI. And then a new tower, right now, new towers, especially the height you're looking at and the size that we recommend, you're looking at well over $4 million for that. We think retrofitting the old plant, adding in some high service pumps, doing some internal pipe work, we think you can do that for less than $1 million at this stage. So we can get into the details and the nitty gritty, but I would definitely like Alex to be here for that discussion, because I think he was definitely driving the interest in retrofitting that plant. So I guess I'll take some questions, and then we'll give you guys a couple weeks to digest that information, and we can talk about it more in the next one.
Option one is exactly what we've hoped was gonna come back as the best option, as we've been talking through this and kind of working up to this.
Yeah.
Especially with the project that we have going on right now, and some of the residual funds that are available from that we're able to use towards this, that we can kind of all lump together. Work in, because we've already cut out and saved a third of this.
Hopefully, the project, the current water treatment project will come in less than what we're bonded for, because we've got some leftover money from that bond that could be used towards this. Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've already cut probably a third out of the original quote
Oh,
of the
yes,
plans
yes, I see what you're asking.
with model changes and things like that. So we
Correct.
know that there's some residual money that's going to be there, hopefully,
Correct,
all those continue as planned,
yes. I
that we
don't know
can
what that
put together with this.
exact amount is, but you're right, we have saved quite a bit.
Yeah, and obviously, I mean, those prices will fluctuate, but within the next, I don't know how soon you guys are trying to do something like this, but prices should be pretty steady over the next 6 months, knock on wood. So we feel pretty good about that. There will be some construction on the, the distribution system to be able to isolate that south area and not raise the pressure for the whole community, because then you would be impacting the infrastructure that's been here for, decades and decades. We'd have to put in some check valves, some vault structures around town. But definitely the cheapest option. Towers are not expensive, or not cheap right now. And the lead times for those are years, as you guys know.
Okay, I won't get into too many questions, obviously, until Alex is here, because I know he's gonna have a lot of the same ones, instead of you having to repeat them twice.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
But thank you for this. This is exactly what we needed to see. So we start planning accordingly.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, takes us to Katie.
First item I have is the public hearing and the first reading on the 2026 budget, which is ordinance 2025-8.
Randall, as far as the parks board budget, what is 41,000 for sales shades?
So the shades are installed around the splash pad, because they're not going to put in the shade there on trees. So, they have them at their parks, they've seen them, and it's a shade basically for parents, so they don't get burned.
So then we have an official code that they cost $41,000.
They cost, so that's for 3 of them, and then installation, they went through it all, that put it out, like they looked it all up, like what it would cost for the concrete, the pipes, and they had a company throw that number at them. So that was the lower of the 3 that they had talked to. Those things are water, they're weather resistant.
I know, I have one.
Yeah.
That wasn't $41,000.
Well, these are probably a lot bigger than the one at your house.
I know, but I'm just trying to grasp how they got to $41,000 for sales shades.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to see all the quotes.
Okay.
That's,
Judy, do we have something from the ambulance department asking for an increase?
this was on their 5-year plan they gave us, wasn't it?
Yes.
Is that what it was? Okay.
I don't think theirs listed out all 5 years, but
Yeah, I don't
it
either.
did list out 2026.
Okay.
And in the 5-year plan, it did list the year plan.
And remind me, with the ambulance department, we're giving that money and they're holding that money to go towards the new ambulance, or you're putting that in a separate fund?
That is still being discussed.
I know the fire department.
I think that would discuss who pays what for. In my budget folder, there's a sheet from the township trustee. I gave them a request for bigger items that the county is planning to purchase in the next few years. And the ambulance, we want to help with a portion of that, they listed some amounts that I kind of underlined in red on that sheet, the amounts that the township trustee would like to help with. There's certain items that I've provided to them.
It's definitely a step in the right direction.
Yeah, that would be helpful, for sure.
If it still exists for them to be able to do that,
Right.
which goes into the meeting that we had for the Senate Bill Act 1 and all the changes that are to be determined, and I'll have a report for you guys. They still haven't sent it to me digitally. Should have that hopefully tomorrow. But the township could be using their ability to have the funds and maintain their funds.
Yeah, I think that was the purpose of them coming up with a plan of spending, needing to spend that money.
Okay. Questions over that for Katie?
There's only one thing I saw, that was paving project, the money was a lot different next year. It's that's something we do every other year. It's down. Geez, where'd you go?
They don't form one.
I was just there, yeah, it's down there, like, yeah, the 4-1. I think we went that. The current number was like 15,000, then we're setting aside 120,000 to get the difference. Maybe the. In page 2, says 26 paving plan. I just have a question about that.
Sure.
I'm not, just curious.
So the 2026 paving plan, JPR and Alex had worked on a report of which streets they wanted to be paved in 2026. And that total came to 490,000. And then I took our portion after community crossing and I budgeted that in the MVH. And the MVH restricted. And local road streets, so it's divided up in like 4 different appropriations.
That's it.
I've got it wrote on my copy here.
Yes, that's the breakdown of. how
Okay.
much I'm taking from each one.
Okay, cool. I just was curious because the number here was 15 to 120 on here. so
Yeah,
that's-
yeah, good question.
Looking at the fire and ambulance, did we get our report in June? I didn't see it. No, that we require.
I'm gonna say no, June was a long time ago. I will double check.
Okay, I did kind of remember
I don't
seeing it from both.
Okay, any other questions for Katie? Before we move on to the next one here? You're good?
I did question, I know that the, Chamber of Commerce asked for an increase, and I said we're still at 20, I don't know what we want to do with that, but.
So the Chamber of Commerce approached us and we had a very nice sit down with Brock and Jalinda and discussed they would like us to up our give to 50,000 instead of the 20. And that is to go towards director's salary.
I don't know Jolene, did you have a chance to check on any of the other things that we suggested or not? At this point,
Check on.
other donations from other places.
We could work on that, yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if you had had a chance to talk to any of them or not.
And I can.
The Maple Syrup Festival Committee.
Oh, well, we already get money from them.
Okay,
So, yeah, their money is our money really. So, yeah, so we already get, that's already a part of our working budget, is
Okay.
money from the Maple Festival, so. Yeah. So was there another one, Bill? I'm sorry.
no,
Okay.
I thought we had kind of talked about maybe increasing it.
Okay, yeah, and we can increase that like we need to. What I don't want to do is we know how much money they're making.
Right.
So I don't want to depend on a certain amount from the Maple Syrup Festival.
Right.
But we can use it when we
I was thinking that, about getting that to 30. You know, last year we talked about increasing it to
I
25.
thought we did
And I
increase
thought we
it
did
to
too,
25.
but we didn't.
we didn't have a lot of discussion on it.
Did we? Okay.
So 25.
Previously, we were at 17. With the last 2 years.
Can I say anything?
Sure.
Okay. About that, we were getting 20,000 from the town, when Tom Rader was manager, he was last manager in 2011. So I used that date and just kind of plugged it into a, inflation, formula. And that would be worth today around 27,000, so if that helps. And then the other thing was, the reason we had the ask too is because we were doing more for the town in there than we have in the past. So that's bringing on more value than we have in the past, so that's why. Just for clarification, why we're doing this. Because inflation reasons and for value reasons.
I guess the question I have is, this is to help with the chamber director.
My understanding is that from part-time to full-time. Definitely was part-time.
I guess I can see the value.
Double our businesses that are part of the chamber, you know, it's value added, for
And a good chamber person is pretty valuable to the chamber. So that's what we have to make that number. If we continue to grow with the business, and I can see some of that happening. That would be a great asset to continue with.
But ultimately, it's the taxpayer's fiscal responsibility to pay the salary of the chamber.
From what I understand, you can't pay the salary, but you can pay for,
However you want to call
research
it.
and development, or, you know, that type of economic development. Towns can enter into contracts with the chamber because we do a lot of that type of work, so. Chambers do, and Rock has really done a good job of upping even our value in that area, so, yeah. But we can do a contract with each other and call it economic development.
So we're
I know.
we're not used to that.
I guess I wouldn't be opposed to 35,000, that way there's still some skin in the game on the other side of it. That's still taking the lion's share of it. And see what develops and goes out of that, and then, reevaluate it.
We evaluate it every year, see where we end up.
Yeah, because like we said, it's been, what, at least 15 years since we've even asked for one, yeah. So, yeah, we'd love to do that. And we're really enjoying the partnership we're having with the town. I think it's going really, really well. Appreciate you.
We appreciate you.
We got a nice, here, a lot of good comments. A lot of good
That's
comments.
good. That's what we want.
Can we not under the board, the July one, because we're never not August, should we have August or?
No, I always put them like
It's
Friday.
always been on. Maybe it's
Because
because we're
some
meeting so
council, yeah,
late
some
that,
council meetings, and
yeah,
all the budget items.
okay.
I might have uploaded it in the September fund report, not
Okay,
October's.
that's fine.
Yes, I did.
I thought it was so late.
It is in there, but.
Okay.
Next month.
We don't usually meet on the night.
Any questions on this for Katie? Okay. Let's move to the next one, Katie.
Okay, first reading on 2026 salary ordinance. Ordinance 2025-9.
And this is all just straight up they asked from the initial meetings, correct?
Yes.
lines up we want to go into this, right? Tonight, if we want to do a first reading tonight or not, we want to table that.
We have to do this by October, don't we?
We can have a first reading and we can make any changes before we accept it from the city.
I've spent a lot of time looking at this. A lot of time looking at different things in the state of Indiana. I've contacted over the municipalities near us, with what they're doing, how they pay for insurance. They're asking for on-call pay. I've looked into all that to see how our surrounding communities are doing that. And I have a different opinion. I don't know if I want to do that. And I don't want it to be taken out of context either, because I totally value each one of our employees. I'm not saying that in relation with them. That's what makes us all hard. Because they do a great job, they're our friends, and we all live in the same community.
Oh. Or you see the name jump up down the screen. I kind of tend to agree with you on the on-call pay. We used to do the system where they had a shorter day during the week to make up for the on-call time during the weekend.
That's what two Napanee and Argus do.
And we used to do that, and I'm not sure when we migrated away from that.
Well, I was here.
Yeah, that was way back.
What they do is they do 4 hours off on Friday, and then that time is spent on call on the weekend. So
Well,
their bathroom checks and that are all done,
they
and
do
then,
work 4 nines. and
Right.
4, so that makes 40 hours.
right,
Right, well, so the
they take
on-call
4 hours off of their.
would have Friday off now.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, whoever's on call that weekend,
Okay.
and then they don't get paid either overtime when they come in on the weekends, like.
Yeah, that's good,
they
since
get
I've
it.
been here.
It's what,
The overtime's new since I've been here.
so they wouldn't receive that overtime pay. Okay.
And, you know, going back to that style, what that does is that allows us to keep that overtime budget down and not risk it if we have a stressful
Big
winter
snow.
with a ton of snow and things like that. What was it, 5 years ago, we ran up against, we had to extend the overtime because
Right.
we got blown out with snow and we ran out of it and somebody was using a lot of it.
Now our ordinance allows for 5,000 in case of $5,000 per department in case of emergency. We added that in at that time.
But yeah, that's something that we need to discuss with Public
Right.
Works.
Just uploaded another file from last month's folder, that I think would be good for this month too. It's the salary meeting notes from 2026. That kind of shows the, rather than just listing 2026, it shows the comparable of what's changing. from 25 to 26. So that's in there too.
The other thing that we need to remember is we have a huge benefit package that we give our employees. Huge. And I know that some people don't take, don't maybe take all of that, they maybe don't take our insurance, but it's free. When I checked with those 5 communities, there's not one that pays 100% of insurance. And it's the 5 communities that Alex had presented to us. They, pay everything from, one pays $1 for the employee, and then each dependent has to pay $25 towards their monthly. Some do 80-20, and some do 90-10. 90% county pay, 10% employee paid for insurance. When I added up our benefit package, it's a good package. Between our free insurance, our free dental insurance, but medical insurance, what we would contribute to their retirement, what we put into their HSA, then with the holiday pay, the vacation pay, and a take-home vehicle added on top of that, that's not monetary. I'm not saying that that doesn't mean we don't need to give increases in wages, I'm not saying that. I just feel like, maybe they need to be lower than some of the asks. I'm thinking like between 5% and 4%. Increases instead of some of the higher ones. It's just my personal opinion. From what I've researched, other people are doing.
And I truly respect what you say.
Yes,
I went through a situation back in 08, 09. 2 kids in college. And the economy was not doing well. I had all these benefits. In July, I only made $6,000 trying to put 2 kids through college. You can have all the benefits in the world, but if you still don't have that dollar amount that you're paying these people, the benefits mean nothing.
I agree with that. However, if you don't have those benefits, you're gonna pay them on your wages.
Right.
So when you're looking at, you
You still
know,
gotta have real income.
and no, and I totally agree with that. That's why I'm saying 4 or 5% increases instead of higher than asked, is my opinion.
That was not a fun time.
I'm sure it was good. I've also been without health insurance and that's not funny.
And that's, I've been there too, so. Just, everything's just so expensive.
Yeah, it was.
Doesn't matter what you do.
When I looked at this, our police officers are definitely underpaid
Yeah.
from, captain on down with the state average. So I feel like the 9% that Tim asked for is not a bad ask. I think that, you know, when we talked to him, he said he'd take, you know, he thought 4.5% this year, 4.5% next year, or 9% this year. So I would think 5% to start with. Just because of SB 1, we're not positive what's gonna happen. What we're gonna have and what we're not.
That's the scary thing of this whole deal.
It is. That doesn't mean that we can't reevaluate later in the year.
Well, and my thought process is on this, because nobody knows yet. Do we go ahead and give the raises that they're asking for, and then if we have to, we pull it back? I mean, I don't know the answer
I
to
think
that.
it's easier not to give it and add on. I wouldn't want to be the one going to take it. Personally.
But I also value the teams that we have,
I totally agree with that. I do.
and we went through some pretty tough times here, and I would like to keep going forward. I don't want to go backwards.
No, and I don't think that 5%, the 5% increase in pay is when we're gonna be paying more for their insurance. I mean,
That's why we're having a discussion.
yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah,
No, I
that's
agree.
why we gotta have the discussion.
How do you feel, Carl? Do you have an opinion?
I just mean, 5% just doesn't feel like enough, I guess. I feel like everything's a lot more than 5% more expensive. That's what, I'm not saying that what everybody's asking for is 100% what we need to do, but I guess I was thinking more that 70% range. I don't know if we make that just kind of across the board. Or we, the increases are slightly different between departments. They ask anyway.
They ask, yeah, one's at
Yeah.
19%.
And I guess I kind of have a hard time just going straight across the board with everybody asking for different amounts.
Right.
But I also understand the aspect of the unknown with SB one. Reviewing that, it's hard to pull it back next year,
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
you know.
That would be tough to do.
That's where I feel like where we started is where we have to go from.
I know I sent out the text message that one individual, I think we need to get this up there a little more. And a lot of it is the value that they bring to the table.
Yeah, and I totally get that, I do. I'm not doubt, I mean, I've never doubted, I'm thankful for that.
When I looked at it, I thought, you know, if we go half what they want, are we really showing them we're really on their side? So I'm
Well,
thinking like
not all of
2/3.
them are half,
I know, but whatever, like if it's
Right.
4%, that we go, I think 2/3 of what they want shows the look. Yeah, we value you, you know, they trust us, we trust them. I've had jobs that I got a 10-cent raise, and I told them to keep it, because I felt like that was more of a slap in the
right,
face.
no, and I don't wanna do
You know,
that.
you know what I'm saying? So I
Yes,
just,
I
right
understand,
now they trust us with all the
Right.
changes we've been doing. A lot of great things have been happening.
I understand
I
that,
think there's a fine line there. We at least have to reach that line. They see that we're working for them. You know, I'm not saying that we have to go all the way to the top, but I think there's just that line somewhere that makes sense more to them, even though this is their request, and, you know, I always shot for the moon, my requests, and hoping I would at least get this much. So I think there's a line somewhere.
I guess that's what I struggled with doing, just 2/3 of the request, we kind of just pick a number,
well, some of them
Across
are
the
only
board.
asking for 4 and 5%.
which,
Right.
so to me, it's kind of hard to say, well, your department head only asked for 4%, yours asked for 15,
Right,
or whatever it is. I
Yeah.
don't remember exactly.
well, but I'm looking at comparing it to statewide, too,
Right.
not just
Right.
to see where we're at in our pay. In the state of Indiana.
Broccoli, do you think you'll have that information for tomorrow night to clear it up just a little bit?
Do the math over here.
That's all right. I mean, with this uncertainty that these guys have passed down from the state's not good fun.
Well, in some of those, we're looking at percentage, but then we're also looking at hourly pay increase too, because they're asking for each accreditation to raise from 25 cents an hour. So that's up to $250 for each employee too. It's gonna be, I mean, plus their percentage of their hourly. And I'm in agreement to increase that from 50 to 75 cents for the both town manager accreditation.
This year I sat in a meeting with Rob and Alex here last week, and I'm just, yeah. These guys are worth every penny.
Right. Like I said, I'm not doubting that. It's not about,
I know you're not,
because I never went there.
but we gotta talk them up and figure we have to with it.
Right, I agree. I just think if you're here for 25 years and your benefit package is $622 a week on top of your salary, that's a good benefit package. Plus a take-home vehicle, your holiday pay, and your
Did you decide on the on-call thing? I was listening, I was trying to get the tape. What did you guys, sorry for bringing it back
No.
up. We haven't really decided anything on that.
Okay, we're good. We need Alex here to talk. Okay.
Yeah, that's, I was gonna talk to Alex about this today, but then with the.
Yeah, with everything.
Yeah. My wife was a nurse, she was on call sometimes.
Yeah.
That was nice knowing that like,
Yeah,
oh, we can't go to Indy today because you're on call, so maybe, and hers was like $2 an hour, I mean,
Yeah.
something like nothing. But that at least allowed them to know for sure when we'll be there. There may be nothing, so like, there's, for the employer, that was good for them knowing that, but
So they know it too. If they had Friday off instead of working 4 hours, they got paid for 4 hours on.
right,
yeah, I'm just saying, that's my experience with that,
Right.
like, it's not political.
I
That was-
understand.
What I'm thinking is not paying them both,
Right.
just racking up overtime.
I mean, Alex can explain a little bit more what he's thinking on that as well, too, like, what's his, sad story or.
I mean, I personally rather have Friday off.
That's where I'm at. I think we all would say,
I say Friday off.
I'll take Friday off.
Okay, everybody chew on that. I'll work some more math and have some more info on that. Any other questions for Katie?
Thank you, Katie.
Okay, what you got next, Katie?
Next item is our reduction of appropriations for the 2025 budget, resolution 2025-4. Right now, and all of these reductions are from the general fund. Right now, we're at about 50% of our budget left. Our 2026 budget, we've budgeted the revenue very conservative, more so than other years, just because of some of the unknowns with the tax, property tax bill, and other tax changes. So this will just help cushion that 2026 budget a little bit more. We can rebudget some of the items that we thought we might pay for this year, like the warrant stitch and some of the other big projects. We can rebudget them for 2026 and just have plenty of cushion left to get out. Any questions on that one?
Straightforward there. Okay, anything else, Katie?
That's it.
All right, that brings us to our second portion of JPR.
All right, thanks, guys. To jog your memory, a few months ago, you guys authorized hiring us to conduct a study on the wastewater treatment plant. We understand that the town here likes their lagoons, wants to keep them in good working order, so we put together a recommendation plan of attack for improving them and maintaining them in the future. So I'm going to kind of give the quick version of the report, the summarized version of the report. Feel free to review it in depth on your own. But following the review of the last 12 months of operating reports for the plant, we noticed there were the occasional violation of NPDES limits on biochemical oxygen demand and total suspended solids. However, there were regular violations of E. coli, and that's likely due to the fact that you guys don't have a disinfection system, and that's kind of bound to happen if you don't. Also, we noticed that there was some high pH in some cases, likely due to lagoon number 4 having some short circuiting going on. Essentially, the outlet pipe out of lagoon 4 is too close to the inlet pipe, and we're not utilizing the entire volume of the lagoon. So due to aging of concrete structures, inoperability of system valves, erosion of the embankments, and the requirement to meet the discharge permit limits, we kind of broke the recommended improvements into 3 categories. a high priority, a medium priority, and a low priority. The high priority improvements we listed as replacement of the water level control structures between ponds 2 and 3, and replacement of the weir plates in the structure between ponds 3 and 4. It's just some modifications to some existing structures out there. Removal of the sludge blanket that's located in pond 1. Essentially all influent flow comes in there. The majority of sludge settling occurs in pond 1. We came up with 2 alternatives to go after this. One would be kind of the old-fashioned way of dewatering Lagoon 1 and removal with a bulldozer and hauling it off-site. The other is a process called bioaugmentation, or as some may refer to it as sludge bugs. It's kind of the nickname for it. It's essentially bacterial dosing you can do into a lagoon that these bugs actually consume the sludge and become part of the sludge blanket themselves. So it's not going to completely remove the sludge blanket, but you could knock potentially 75-80% of that sludge blanket out. And so with that, we need to do a little additional testing of the sludge in the lagoons to determine if that's feasible. And I believe that Alex has already given us authorization to move forward with that. So we've been coordinating some sampling out there to get that rolling. Because as you'll see when you look at the cost estimate, bioaugmentation is significantly less expensive than sludge removal with equipment. The next high priority item is the construction of a new UV system. This will essentially disinfect the effluent wastewater leaving the plant, eliminating E. coli from the effluent stream. So your E. coli violations will go away once a UV system is installed there. That will likely require a upgrade of the electrical service at the plant, because I think currently all that's there is a flow meter. So the last high priority item was to regrade and restabilize Lagoon number 1 through 3's embankments. Medium priority items, we came up with a baffle system in Lagoon 4 to prevent short circuiting, essentially forcing that influent flow to wrap all the way around the lagoon before hitting the effluent pipe. Replace the shear gates and hatch in control structure number 4, and install a diffused aeration system in Lagoon 5 for TSS polishing. That's to kind of help knock down that total suspended solids right before it leaves the plant. Then our low priority items were installation of a concrete weir in Boggo Creek. So currently you have a stream gauge in Boggo Creek that measures the level of flow in the creek, because you can only discharge 10% of what the flow in the creek is. Putting a weir would allow you to get a much more accurate calculation of what flow through Boggo Creek is. The only thing is that could be kind of a double-edged sword. That could help you as much as it could hurt you. Also, the demolition of outlet structures for ponds 1 through 3 is listed as a low priority item. We reviewed all this stuff with Rob and Alex back in July, and we identified a handful of items that could be self-performed by the town in order to have some savings on a potential capital project. Those were rehabbing the slide gates in the inlet structures, replacing grading on the control structures, and the regrading of those embankments. Those could all be done with public works staff and potentially avoid that cost in a capital project. So the last 2 pages of the report show our estimated construction and non-construction costs for this project, including all of the alternatives I went through, high, medium, and low priority. It includes non-construction engineering costs and legal costs, bond counsel, financial consultants. What we came up with was for absolutely everything, the total capital cost was $3,322,000. But if you back out the stuff that the town could potentially self-perform, you're looking at $2,183,000 in total project costs. So we'll let you guys read over this over the next month, and then next month when Alex is back in, if we want to talk about this in more detail, let you guys formulate some questions. can have a further discussion then, unless you have any now.
Wait for Alex, just kind of wait to see this. Glad that you gave it to us tonight so I can study it and have a more educated discussion with Alex when we talk about it.
Yep.
Him and I have been working on a couple other ideas and different things, from researching other facilities, and things in other countries and different things that happen.
Yeah, awesome.
Definitely something that we want to put some effort into and keep our lagoons, because the
Yes.
package plant makes our water treatment plant look cheap, and then you have to pay to run it.
Yeah.
And have staff that's trained how to run it.
Yeah, the beauty of this system is it's all done, it's all gravity. There's no pumps.
Moving parts.
Yeah, so.
And it can't
costs
call
are
in
real
sick,
low.
it's always there.
Ding, ding, ding. Yeah. No, it's a beauty.
Okay. Thank you for that report. Look forward to getting into more of that. Okay,
I was gonna say, I do have some questions for you, but it's my other hat, so I'm gonna do it
Okay.
after the meeting, so.
No problem.
all right, that brings us to DLZ. Investment payout, Stephanie.
Yeah, the first one is DLZ invoice, for August. Total for the water treatment plant, $37,363.75.
That project's looking really good, skin's on, nice pretty blue.
Yeah, roof's on, so they're looking at, closing things up, so doors, windows, so getting, or way ahead of women, which is great.
Excellent. Okay. So the next one's payout number 10, Mariota's share.
That's correct, this, payout amount is $471,875.16. This one does show the credit associated with change order number 1. I would like to warn you, like going forward, you'll probably see higher payout amounts as we get some of the process equipment coming in. Those are higher dollar values, and so you'll probably end up seeing $600,000 and $700,000 a month invoices.
Expecting them. Can't wait for them to start rolling in. That means we actually have our equipment.
Yeah, really.
Okay. And then that takes us to the lift station, correct?
Yeah, Keystone Lift Station DLZ invoice for $6,375.
Okay.
We did not receive a payout from Reed Riley for August. I would expect one for September. They've been
They're on
paused
site
for quite a
again.
while.
Yep,
Yeah, they're
they're
back
there.
on site.
Stop out. Move along. Okay. Anything else? You need to tell us? Okay.
Any
thank you.
questions?
Very good. Okay, Tim's report's in the folder. He couldn't be here tonight. He should be here tomorrow. Alex's report is in the folder as well. This is to Rob.
On Alex's behalf, you know some of the recent activity with our staff at Public Works. So we are aiming to replace the recent resignation. So we just want everybody to know that he doesn't intend to move forward on putting out advertising to replace. So, yeah. Yeah, my monthly report's in there as well. Board and trash contract is complete. finally got a chance to meet Johnny Bach, great guy. That's all signed, it's been filed away. The Borden trash pickup, we wanted it to start in September, but he pretty much pleaded with me, please wait till October. So October 6th is what Borden has recommended in terms of moving trash pickup from Fridays to Mondays so that it will happen simultaneously with recycling. Obviously, recycling will be every other week, but trash will move from Friday to Monday, October 6th. That gives us plenty of time.
Reach alert, Facebook posts,
Yep.
you still get that one on water bill, right?
Yep.
It went out on this week's water bill.
And if I have to go door to door and hang tags, I will. I'm not opposed to doing that. I still have about 800 and some tags. I'd rather not do that.
Get
But,
you a PA system on the golf cart.
Yeah.
Drive through town.
You know,
The town crier.
right,
Just hit a record and just keeps the stories going.
Big bunch of stickers
Just
from
did.
on everyone's garbage cans, they're sitting
We can
outside.
do that.
I think, hang on, Rob, I think Judy
I
has a
just
question.
wondered if you had a heads up on the fact they weren't picking up recycling.
No,
No,
Yeah.
I called them at 3:30. I called.
I did not
They
get a
didn't
heads
know
up there.
that.
no, I got a text message that said, sorry, we won't pick it up till the 22nd.
And I'm
At
just
5
thinking, I think
o'clock.
on the 22nd, they
Yeah.
need to allow people to put out a box or two if they have recycling.
I-
Really?
I
I'll
feel
reach out to Johnny, I had no idea.
I
They
actually-
need to automatically credit at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah,
This
exactly.
is-
I did
Every
call
other
them,
month, they're
Rob.
missing a cycle.
Yeah, last time they said they would credit.
They would, but you had to call in.
Yeah, stay on
And it was-
hold.
Well, did you
Throw
have
it around.
difficulty calling in even? You
Yes.
said you gave up on that,
Yes.
because it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
So they're missing.
So when I got off my bus route, I called Johnny, because his phone number was
You
in
did
that
call
email.
him.
I did, and it said, hey, and he answered his cell phone, and I said, hey, our recycling was not picked up today. And he said that he would, really? And I said, yeah. He said that he checked into it, and while he was on the phone with me, he told me to have a truck go down at noon. And I said, well, nobody let us know again. So then we got that text alert at 5 o'clock. But, yeah, I agree, Rocco. I think you need to see
Okay.
if he can just do some kind of.
Let's talk tomorrow.
Yeah.
And, I had lunch with him, great guy, thought, hey, we're on the right track.
Well, yeah, he didn't even know it.
Yeah,
It's no
well,
fault of his.
So I think with their recent, change in ownership, they're
Yeah.
having some issues.
There's just no consistency anymore.
Okay, I'll reach out to Johnny, thank you, by the way. So, watering system is awesome, works great, it's the best thing since sliced bread, it works really, really well. Regarding, flowers, Sarah did tender her resignation, I think most of you know that, and she was just as, excited about resigning. She said she should have done it a year ago because she is overwhelmed with kids stuff. So, traveling to watch Dom play, who's doing a remarkable job at D1 level kid in football. And then Emily, I believe, is her mother, she plays volleyball. So she's very, very busy. So we're in the process of moving forward with that. We've got plans. I've engaged Public Works. Randy's more involved now. We have to put together a flower order for 2026, so it's running very smoothly. I am speaking to Jude regarding whether or not she's interested in helping as we move forward. Next season, next year, 2026 is 250th birthday for the United States. So we plan on doing some really cool things with red, white, and blue. We're probably going to change things up a little bit to make a little different presentation. We'll use pole banners. Somebody recommended veterans, again, recognizing veterans doing that. So we've got some different ideas. I think I mentioned to some of you as well, Liam, which would be Jude's son, is a bio major, and he came and did a very impressive presentation on naturals, perennials, and how we can use perennials to beautify parts of the downtown, the park area, et cetera, et cetera. So he's done some renderings, and I did not put them up, but I'll send those to you. It's very interesting. So anyway, we've got ideas as we move forward. Randy is fully engaged. He's fired up, excited about helping with flowers and teaching some of the younger guys what to do. So any questions or comments about that?
I know we certainly appreciate it, Sarah.
Incredibly. And I would like to do something to recognize her, or just as a gesture of thanks. I'm not sure which one to do.
And she plans to continue with the quilt
She
garden.
does plan to continue with the quilt garden. She's kind of definitely interested in continuing to do that, and we're very happy because it looks absolutely
It
amazing.
is beautiful.
Always does. She does a good job with it, so, but she wants to continue doing that. She thinks she can handle that and still do a lot of travel for the next several, few years anyway. Watching Dom alone play all over the country, so, exciting times. We are also working on the seating area down here, and I've got costs for that. All right, where was it? I put those on. There you go. Proposed quilt garden upgrades. These are pretty hard costs. I mean, you were looking for, I think, a net. We said, hey, let's move forward with this, but you're looking for something more specific in terms of dollar amounts. This is going to be real close, and this is based on current pricing for several different vendors regarding picnic tables, benches, et cetera. We do intend to contract Troy Excavating. He's already been down measuring, he's got time, talk to Troy regarding the electrical implications with the project, but we're very excited about moving forward with that seating area. It'll be very similar to what you see in Brigham. I think we shared that photo last time we were here, but so it includes everything from the concrete to the amenities sitting on the slab, the lights, the light poles.
Will the concrete just be concrete? Will it be painted? And then
We're not planning on doing any kind of painting or design work on it. It's not going to be stamped or, you know,
I'd at least dye it.
Color,
Yeah,
get
that's-
color.
Just put color in it.
you could do that. I mean, Joe can,
Seriously.
we can, it'll adjust the price. You probably know more effectively what
Yeah,
that would
some of that
do.
color goes up to almost like $150 a yard.
Okay, so
But I'm
anyway,
saying,
well, we can look at that, but,
it depends on the color.
and everybody is,
I always think
on board. They think they can get this done in fall, sometime in the fall.
Papers.
If you'd like to see it, nice charcoal gray concrete, I happen to know where there's a patio that's poured in that color.
You do.
I know a guy.
I know that's.
So, also, this,
And that's. the
any
least- that's the
questions
less
on
expensive.
that? Most of you have noticed we're beginning the removal of aggregate over here in this parking lot for paving purposes. Again, the intention is, once this roof is going into repair mode, we want to channel the water and divert it from flowing to the south. We want to divert it to the north and have it drain down into the parking lot, and then it will drain down to storm sewage, or storm sewage down
At the bottom of the hill.
at the bottom of the hill. Thank you. We are also going to excavate with the back truck for a water line that ties in with this service up here at the corner to put in a sink in this back break room area. So we're going to put a sink. Then we'll tie into the existing lateral that the garage was tying in. So we'll tie into that lateral.
So what will you do with the shed?
We could move it. We probably won't have a need for it anymore, so we can repurpose that. We could put it up for sale. Somebody needs a shed, but as of right now, we want to just leave it to make sure that we don't need it.
I didn't know if you're asphalting under it or.
Well, we're not going to asphalt under it. We're not going to do that. Now, if we want to remove it at some point in time and put kind of a low break area out there, we can talk about doing something different than limestone out there. But as of right now, it's just going to sit there. But Alex would like to remove it. If we can clean that area up a little bit, there is a power line going to it. That's very easy to disable that. Any questions? We've hauled a lot of aggregate out there. I think Rock made the comment, there's like 40 years of stone out there. There's a lot of limestone. So I think today we hauled away as many as 7 truckloads, and there's probably another 7 truckloads back there. So there's a lot of aggregate. So that's going into the hoppers, which is good for us. Southwood sign, we're actually going to dig this week. A footer is finally going in. Brent finally got together with, well, I think Jamie's been trying to pound on it for weeks now. And Brent from Premier Signs has finally responded. So they do want to, if everything gets done, they'd like to install that sign sometime next week. Yeah. So we will be doing the footer work in Alex's absence. He's had a rough week. And so we're going to just grab the reins and go with it. So I'll probably be in and out quite a bit this week, digging and shooting in that footer. I do need to speak with Jamie about the specifics. We need to also get with Nick and Natalie and probably Gail to discuss exactly where it needs to lay on the property. But that should be happening. And I'm gonna mock it up. I'm gonna mock up the 6-foot sign so they can look at it and actually see what it looks like once we actually put it out there. And then we can adjust it, figure out where it goes, we'll paint the spot, dig the hole, put a creek, and then Jamie and crew, probably not Jamie, but Jamie's crew can come off and do the install. Am I missing anything?
We should have a mural update tomorrow, a design.
Yes,
We're
Ashland
so close to working on some mural grants.
and Haas across the street has been remarkable.
It's amazing what retirement does.
Well, I think he's in a really, really good mood because he got to see a whole lot of US Open tennis. And what I didn't realize is that he's the coach of Dublin University. I did not realize that. Yeah, I'm sure retirement in itself might help my disposition as well. At some point. But, yeah, he's been really, really very, very agreeable. So I'm excited. We've got some cool things that Ashland has presented. Hopefully we'll have designs for you and all, but that is moving right along as well. Now regarding, and I'm going to have dialogue with Charlie and the rest of you in terms of what can we do. It was interesting. We had a couple ladies just this last Friday in at the coffee shop and struck up a real brief conversation with them. And like, why are you here? They came from Elkhart, Jimtown area. Like, oh, we love Wakarusa, love your parks, and we wanted to visit your coffee shop. And completely unsolicited, one of them pointed across the street and said, man, it'd be really, really nice if you didn't have that eyesore across the street and there was some cool boutiques in there or something that we could, like chocolate or something. And I said, I can't agree with you more. So what we would like to do is figure out what can we do as town leadership to put some teeth to an ordinance that says, hey, if you own a piece of property down here, allow me this, cooler, get off the pot. Do something with that property, especially if it's in a state of the kind of disrepair that we see over there. Ultimately goes, to me, that's a safety hazard. Rocco and I talked to Carl was in there where we kind of talked about this, the safety factor there. It's very, very unsafe. Somebody could come by, push that window, if they let go, and we can have terrible issue. So anyway, I want to actively pursue what we can do with some of the downtown things that need attention. I don't know what would you
Have we heard anything on my mechanic building down at?
There are people, first of all, there's like 2 or 3 people interested in purchasing that. One has already met with Frank 2 or 3 times, and Rock is going to further that conversation with that individual. Same individual is also interested in the L-shaped building down right across the street. Smart, aggressive, creative, got the money to do something and they want to do something. They're just looking for the opportunity. So,
That'd be awesome.
have you heard the idea that whatever they're thinking could be a really cool idea?
Awesome.
So, anyway. That's what I got.
Okay.
Rocco, can I just mention one, reminder, September 27th, we do have the street shutdown. We are doing that side Elkhart and Waterford. We wanted to leave this open for the fish fry. We were actually gonna shut the whole square down. The Jumbotron will be delivered about 11:30. It will be on this end, blocking that side off for the Notre Dame game. The other side will be all kids types of activities and games. Mechanical Bull will be brought in at 2. The Chili Soup Cook-Off is free to enter. We already have things going out in the paper. It is also available to register online. It will be a blind judging that is free, but we're gonna have donations made to people that wanna sample that. And the money, Tori Schwartz and I are working on this together, is actually gonna go in Kim Seller's name to Brian. We're gonna do a 50-50 cornhole tournament, will be after the game. I think it's about a $10 or $20 buy-in on that as well. And we also have Matt Unkin coming to sing at 5 o'clock. So it's an all-day event, go get your breakfast, stop in between, go get your fish and come back. So,
Yeah, because pancake and sausage is that one.
yeah, it's in the
it is.
morning.
I'm gonna gain 5 pounds that day.
Go right
More.
I'm just trying to think if I have a charity outing that day, can I have pancakes and not fall asleep while I'm trying to golf? And
I don't know.
then fish later?
I think it depends on what time you eat.
Yeah, that could be.
We'll be doing-
I
We'll be-
don't do that anymore, so.
We'll actually be cooking smash burgers and hot dogs outside as well.
I am really
Awesome.
hoping the community jumps on this, because it's gonna be a very, very cool
We have
day.
2 signed up for the chili cook-off so far.
It'll be great for the kids. Very cool.
Carl?
The pep parade is also coming up, right? September.
The 13th, this
Third-
is.
Yeah, that's it,
This
Saturday, right?
Saturday, yes, yes.
Also, the kudos to the police, they've been out at both intersections every day, morning and afternoon, and they're crossing lines and doing much.
Was there one day they missed? Because I had some parents ask me when I was in Kansas, they got text messages that the police weren't there.
The crossing guards were done.
Okay. Because maybe they didn't
Yeah.
get to
I
tell
think one day they had a call.
Okay, because I got a text, I was in Kansas, like, I have no clue.
Yeah,
I'm little Kansas City.
yeah.
I
the
did
crossing
ask-
guards have been-
I asked him about it as well, and he said it's going remarkably well.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And that's encouraging.
Randall?
Nothing.
Bill?
Yeah, I did have a question, because I called Charlie earlier in the week. And on the park board thing, we're all new at this, at the park board thing. And I'm trying to figure out where our limitations are, where the park's limitations are. We put people on there, and I'm just curious how that stands.
You're asking me,
Yeah,
I mean, it's all based upon the budget, I mean, it's just kind of like what you guys just discussed.
right.
As far
So,
as setting that budget.
yeah, I guess back when we did the trees, the hill and all that, we just had people from the community that were involved in it, and we just did it. So it's kind of different now because you actually have a park board. So that's gonna be kind of interesting to just kind of fill that out as we go moving forward. I think there's some things they need to be involved in, like pickleball courts, that type of thing. They need to be, because that's part of our park and recreation. I guess my feeling is if we allow these people to be on there, then we need to make them a part of it. That's my only request.
To that point, in terms of public works, there are things that we would like to see the park board involved in terms of things that public works needs to do there. What we're going to try to do is establish a greater communication between what it is our department, our public works department is responsible for. For example, when we do a war memorial, or we do a memorial out in the park, it would be great if the parks department could handle that entire process. From contacting Mickey to create the actual marker, filling out the form, helping people that want to do a memorial. In fact, I'm dealing with a lady that I believe you know, other knows. Awesome, wonderful people. But the park board could do a great job if they're trained and they have the right expectations and they know what it is they're doing. They'd be the place to go to for, getting that. And then they could work in conjunction with what we do in terms of, okay, so you fill out the form, you need to do this, this, and this. Here's your contact at Jane and Stone. Here's your contact at wherever they have to do several contacts for trees. But then in terms of paying, if you want to set the ball in motion, your last step is make sure you go to town hall and pay the $250 and get it all in. Something to that effect. That is just.
The hardest part with all that is you're asking volunteers
I understand that.
to take on a role in something more than what a typical volunteer position would be. I'm all for it if they want to jump on it and manhandle it, but
It seems
I think
to me,
it's a big ask.
it seems to me that they're asking for things to do, unless I'm misreading them. But I think
I
that,
think they're asking for projects that they can be a part of, but not, I want to maintain long-term task of.
I mean, I'm happy to do it, we can absorb that, but, and I see what you're saying. I think our parks board, they're a little different breed, they're pretty anxious. We got a couple guys on tree board as well, Zach Telshaw being one, and Josh Stump being the other. These guys they've got leadership skills and they want to get their hands dirty. In fact, Zach is, not talking tree board, Zach is a little frustrated that the board's not as engaged as he would like to see it. And I said, well, here's a great opportunity for you to step up and lead. And he's like, okay. So he and, I'm supposed to meet with him and Josh, if I can't do it this week, sometime next week, but about that, Zach, had a conversation with him. So,
Yeah, the issue with the tree board is that we had ordinance set up before I came, and none of that was pushed forward as far as like terms and all that stuff, and so I didn't see that documents till the end of last year, and that was after we made some changes in the house. And so I talked with a few, our last meeting was in November, only 2 people showed up, average attendance about 2 people. So we talked like, how do we want to go forward? Do we want to like make this appealing so people want to show up to these meetings so we can do these things like trimming, do the tree, pulling out, putting new trees in, and all that stuff. And then we got Josh and we got Zach came on board and they're really forward doing all that stuff. I missed the last meeting because I was out of town.
I think they're looking for a leader.
Yeah. And
If they have a leader.
talking with the people who've been on it for a while, they're like, yeah, but they love the idea of someone to just take it.
speed of the coach is the speed of the team. And the speed of the leader is the speed of the team, or whatever it happens to be. And if you have someone who sets themselves on fire to go do this thing, others will stand around and watch it burn, or they'll come to watch it burn, and try to get some things done. Now, that would be in kind of a perfect world. Those kinds of boards are hard to find, but I think in a Zach Telshaw and a Josh Stump, I think in a John Andrews possibly, with the park board, I think you've got some natural born leadership there. And if we can take advantage of it, take advantage of it. Otherwise, we'll have to make that slide. But it's kind of how I see it.
Well, and maybe they establish a committee that does that, you know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah.
As far as, memorials.
Yeah, I think they're willing to do any of that stuff. And so, but when that came up, him and I have been talking, we were like, who's supposed to be in charge of this? He's like, I don't know.
Right,
And
yeah,
so Rob just took it.
something new.
I had a job, I travel a lot, so he's like, yeah, I'll just do it. And so, but if we establish like, hey, park board, this is now on you guys. And we set up what that looks like, then they're willing, they all were excited to be a part of the park board. And they're willing to make things better. And they already did a few things this year, they finally got around to, we paved that mulch path that's out there at the Memorial Park, and the disc golf tee paths are gonna be coming in this week. That's stuff that was from the original design. They had Andrew Cunningham and Leonard Schmidt go out there with Troyer, whoever the concrete guy is, show them where they go. They're moving one hole just in case we do the big wall courts, so we don't have to re-pour the concrete. That's all they're doing as far as like, we should just do this. We have some budget, we haven't really touched much, but they want to do great things. You know, if you look at the budget they presented for next year, like, they want to make this place a place where people come. Like, and sitting at the park here right now, if you saw they're working with the Community Foundation on setting up money that the Community Foundation will match a certain percentage of it. We can put money into it, so we can start building money to update our park. This park really is not in good condition, and so they know the money. They're also looking at grants on what it will take to finish it, and hopefully, obviously sooner than later, but the process of building all that, making that all work, it doesn't happen overnight. So they're all learning that too. None of these people have ever been on board like this. So I think they're heading the right direction. And so, yeah, that's why their budget's where it's at for next year, a lot of those things. And then Kenny did pull out like the maintenance stuff. There was a different budget for that. So last year, as we started this park board, I didn't know that they'd be in charge of the dog bags. Didn't know they'd be in charge, the stuff that I never thought of because I'd never done it before. That I just thought it was in a different file, as far as like the mulch and whatnot. So this year they did a lot of that stuff up front with Alex's help on pricing and all that stuff. So, but they're anxiously want to do great things for our park. I mean, they're going to probably put in bike racks. There's not one out there at the path. And I randomly stop people. Hey, you rode your bike? Where do you park it? Oh, we don't know. We just end up in the tree. They don't
I think there
ground.
used to be one.
I think there was.
So, and even
School parking. lot is that way.
even looking like, what if the parking on the south side, what if we extended that to 10 spots on the other side of our building? You go out there on a Tuesday night, you have, 10 disc golfers, you have some people out there with their kids in the splash pad, there's no place to park. So now someone's parking at the school, and if they're not gonna walk in the lot, they're doing a walk just to the path. So, they're looking at those kind of little things, I think will go a long way. So,
If you can engage a volunteer, and they're truly engaged, I think you can get a lot done if they're truly engaged. And passion is what drives a lot of true volunteers. I mean, I think a volunteer fire. I don't know anybody more committed to doing what's right. Even to the point of putting their lives, hopefully tree board members don't have.
Well, and you think about these, back when I was young and these guys are a lot younger. Let them go at it. Let them have at it. They got some ideas, go for it. I don't remember what year we redid the park
It's
downtown.
been 20 years.
yeah.
Wow.
So we did have the Lonergan family and the Brown family doing the memorials and how do we go forward? And so they've done a really good job, like just talking with them, like how do we not erase these memories, but we need to do a few things. And like that heart thing with all the handprints, that's falling apart. And so they talked about, what if we hold those hands off and walk and tell, hey, if you were one of these people, you can come get your hands. That kind of thing. So those memories are never forgotten. So that's, they're looking at how to better, everyone on the park board besides John has kids, has little kids. So they need the park, yeah. They're good people.
Okay, anything else? Okay, see you tomorrow.
Sorry, I didn't. No, you're good.